What does Santa suffer from if he gets stuck in a chimney?
What?
Claustrophobia. Welcome everybody to week number 5 of Stage 2 of the Quake Pro League. My name's Ketchup, joined by the very talented Flea on the desk. And up next, vengeurr versus av3k.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the highlights and one of the most important games of the day, I feel like, because av3k so far, as we mentioned during the start of the stream, really hasn't been doing very well in Stage 2. I think he's so far lost every single match in the online stage following, of course, the Stage 1 finals at Italy, so he's really got some work cut out for him.
Absolutely, and it's a bit of a tricky week, seeing as his opponent's going to be vengeurr, who is just one of the most talented players in the business.
Yeah, Kid Bellissimo. He made it pretty far quarterfinals back in Italy, the Stage 1 finals, where he'd lost to Kilson, but so far he's had a pretty great Stage 2, having beaten both CNZ and Zron. But just last week, I believe, losing to his very own teammate Razy in a very close and tight game.
I know that vengeurr's never going to be happy with losing, but if he's going to lose, a team kill is probably the best way to cushion the blow. And he was one of the favourites to win. He was my personal pick to actually win the Stage 1 finals, mostly because of the hometown hero story, but at the same time, it's because we'd seen him throughout the entirety of Stage 1 just look almost untouchable. Yep. And the only players that could really bring it to him were, the champions, the best of the best. So that's a standard that's obviously a very, very high one. But at the same time, av3k, he has the capabilities to do well. He just historically, so far in Quake Pro League, hasn't had quite the journey I think a lot of people were expecting of him.
Yeah, of course, av3k, like I mentioned earlier, he made it all the way to the grand finals of DreamHack last year, going down against Rafa. And look at him now, so far he's such a talented player, he's got extreme Quake skills. He coined the term av3k aggression, being one of the most aggressive and just constantly confrontational players in Quake history. And I'm hoping to see him be able to bring that today, because so far he really hasn't had the best run.
If anything, this is an opportunity to get some points that av3k desperately needs. Best case scenario, he's able to score a 3-0 versus vengeurr. I don't think anyone out there is predicting that as a result. That would be one of the biggest upsets we've seen in Quake Pro League so far, if av3k is able to 3-0 vengeurr. But a win is better than nothing. When you said it yourself, he's one of the absolute lowest ranked players in the EU/CIS, which means relegation starts to rear its ugly head, especially as we're week 5, we're getting through these Pro League weeklies so far, so yeah, there's the wiggling room starts to disappear, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's why these matches matter so much, because the score difference between him and some of the other EU players is really just only a few points, right? If you compare him to, say, Cypher, Hran, CNZ, one big trio of even a 2-1 victory can really change things up for him. So, very crucial matchup. vengeurr, it's a tall order to go up against after his recent record, but I mean, knowing av3k, knowing what he's capable of, and when he can bring his A game and just hit the shots that we know he's capable of, this could definitely still be going his way.
Right, we have the picks and bans, so we can see what to expect, and it's going to give us a little bit of a picture to paint, I believe. Molten Falls is the first one. Galena removed immediately. Removing Galena from Molten Falls makes total sense. Nyx versus Ranger for that one. Awoken is going to be the second map. Doomslayer versus Sorlag, and then here's the question mark again. Veil of Nath. Yeah. The clutch has been picked by vengeurr, and the Keel comes out to play. If you're going to pick Keel on one map, with the exception of maybe Blood Run, Veil of Nath is the one that makes the most sense. It's the small enclosed spaces, the avenue and the denial that the grenades can bring, and you're up against a large champion, so if there are those close range encounters, your grenades are more likely to hit that mark. Clutch is trickier to play on the small maps where there's a lot of stuff to potentially bump into, but vengeurr, there's so much natural talent. If it's about execution and its movement, it's not really anything that's going to phase it.
I mean, it's got the pros and the cons, right? On the one hand, as you said, very difficult to maneuver all these small winding hallways and doors, but on the other hand, such a small map, you can get from point A to point B so quickly, and when you're clutch, you've got that shoot stack, and you've got the shield wall ability. If you can just immediately rush your opponent off spawn, there's essentially nothing that they can do. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup, that's for sure.
I think so as well. I think there are av3k fans out there that no doubt you're watching and you're keeping everything crossed because you just want your boy to take it because he needs these points. You know, vengeurr, this is a matter of vengeurr just trying to push his way up the leaderboard. He's totally safe. He's fine. He's laughing. av3k, on the other hand, this means a great deal. We'll see how it goes.
Yep, starting off on Veng's point of view as he's running around on that Ranger. Has got quite a bit of mobility, but so does the Nyx. av3k will have to be careful though, because that extra burst damage coming out of the orb, that can be so lethal, and right off the bat he takes a whole lot of damage from the railgun and has to retreat basically immediately.
Looks like the Ghost Walk wasn't popped. Does actually manage to spring some damage, some extremely impressive damage in fact. And retreating back to collect the Mega. vengeurr, he's going to have lots of armor, but not much health. Is av3k able to reach it? He has the perfect idea. Knows that if he's got the timing in his head, he can run back and get that cheeky rail. Was just short of a frag, though, so...
And that's one of the things that people refer to when they say av3k aggression, even after having basically a disastrous start, taking 2 rails off the bat. He just instantly goes back around, gets himself the Mega, and then finds an angle on someone who just picked up the heavy. That's a bad amount of LG to take, though. Luckily for him, he's got the Ghost Walk at the ready, picks up Mega, and gets out of the room alive. And now it's a race to the heavy. Once again, going to av3k. He's definitely stealing away some armors, but he needs to start hitting and doing some damage too.
Trying to get in and out. He's successful this time round, actually. And the stacks are rather even. About 10 seconds until this Mega's going to spawn. vengeurr in better position, though. He's able to get that light. Get some of the rockets, which, you know, finally he's been able to get himself a rocket launcher for these situations. But it looks like they both have the same idea. vengeurr springs the trap. And now, the perfect cutoff point. Shut down the teleporter if he chooses to go that way. And get heavy on the way. vengeurr. Bit of a scary corridor to tread through if they're peppering rockets down. vengeurr does want to have nothing to do with it.
And that's definitely one of the reasons to play Ranger on a map like this, because any other champion would have struggled trying to get out with those rocket jumps and hurt themselves a fair bit. But when you're playing as Ranger and you've got that reduced self-damage from rockets, you can so easily get out. av3k taking a lot of LG, and he's got to pop the Ghost Walk. What is he gonna do? He's just gonna work his way right back around into the railgun room and even secures heavy, but this is dangerous. He doesn't have the Ghost Walk, but Veng doesn't look like he wants to jump on it just yet. Kid Bellissimo playing it safe for the time being, just setting up for Mega.
He knows all he needs is one good fight. He's doing a wonderful job of maintaining control. av3k, granted, he's no slouch of doing damage himself, but now things get a little bit scary. You know, there is no access to the Ghost Walk. Well, there will be now, but if that fight happened earlier, then potentially av3k would have gone down, but vengeurr was continuing to play it safe. av3k is barely alive. He has to watch out for his health here. Just able to collect those small health bubbles, but again, you know, a second short of 1 rocket and that would have been a different story. Both players are showing a lot of respect right now.
Yep. Neither wants to give up that first frag. They're both playing it a bit carefully. Some caution definitely visible on both of these players, and av3k actually restacking very nicely, getting the better positioning on Mega. He will take away the item.
Nice.
Veng runs out of LG ammo, and that will be a quick kill for the Polish player, making his way onto heavy as well. Out comes the orb. Is he gonna go for it? No. He shouldn't, at least, because that would have been that for sure.
Rafa's ledge, eh?
Rafa's ledge might
I'm gonna cover even more distance.
Nope, not this time though, and here we go. Players meeting once again. Some damage being exchanged. No one going down though.
He's looking for the angle. His read is correct, and vengeurr does in fact go all the way down there. In many ways, it's like, why wouldn't he? Even if there's a risk of taking a rail, taking the Mega away is a great success. Point blank, av3k has to be careful here. vengeurr with no armor. He's straight out of there. He's not interested in sticking around and taking a fight. Good use of the Ghost Walk to deny what would have been a guaranteed rail. Now, is he able to deny this? LG's coming out. Nope. There's the Dire Orb.
Bit of a miss time, around 3 seconds too early. I think he definitely should have been not in that position, stayed away a bit longer. Unfortunately for av3k, he put himself in a horrible situation, and vengeurr is going to capitalize of that, might find some more. It's still 5 seconds before the Ghost Walk is gonna be up. av3k does manage to slip away, though at least he keeps it to a tight game for the time being.
Patience, and he waits for it and reacts accordingly.
Very nice retaliation right there.
Stopwatch.
But now av3k He's been consistently near rail room, using the smalls that exist around there to try and heal back up.
Stopwatch.
But now he has to, good shot on the rail. If that rail missed, he would have died for sure. vengeurr, there's no way he would not have chased that down.
We're very clearly seeing av3k having to switch to some out-of-control play. He's just getting hammered over and over again by vengeurr's rails without being able to secure any major items and even struggling to get some of those minor items. He's around 100 health, 50 armor right now. Heavy will be up in just a few seconds. Nice little rocket. vengeurr is not going to chase that. Will be content with just picking up the armor. And av3k unable to do damage. Actually, bit of a bad exchange for both players here. av3k is chasing it!
Almost gets the perforation and it looks like a direct from close range. I don't think vengeurr was prepared for that outcome at all.
I feel like one more step would have sent him flying over the edge right there. And there's those bones that are keeping you in the map. But still, he just got so much momentum from their rocket. He almost flew right off the map. And look at that, av3k pushing in aggressively. Trying to land some rocket damage. We'll find a little bit, and that rail, that's going to make the Italian rethink his actions and back away.
It's these defensive plays that av3k is consistently piling on, and they're keeping him in this. Not only are they keeping him in it, but they're creating some openings too. Every time he needs to hit one of those defensive, mostly with the rails, he just patiently waits for vengeurr to chase, knowing he will. Getting that perfect prediction every single time. Forced to retreat, and vengeurr is very weak. Has to use the dire orb to escape, to deny anything that resembles an angle. But it's given av3k control. Full control. Mega and heavy in hand. And vengeurr kind of left to lick his wounds for the time being.
Nice use of the Ghost Walk to get out though, just completely throwing your opponent off. Am I gonna go left? Am I gonna go right? Your opponent is looking for you at the teleporter, and then at the last possible second he goes for the bounce pad after all. And now av3k has a very impressive stack for a light champion. Both players are gonna find themselves. Here we go, the damage being exchanged is huge. Excellent rockets coming out of vengeurr. Does get out of the room, using once again the reduction on self-damage, but he will nevertheless fall. Silver lining there, though, is that he did manage to deny the heavy armor. That won't be in play for av3k, but that rail, that's gonna cause him to drop right back down.
Say, check out the optimization. av3k ignoring the light to put himself in a better position the second vengeurr spawns, so he can hit the rail, and then during the downtime just picks up the armor a little bit later. Just these little pieces of optimization that can often be missed, but they matter such a great deal at this level of play. And now there's the rail. Looking for another shot. vengeurr just playing from behind. I've got to admit, this is not necessarily what I was expecting for map number 1. It looks like av3k has a complete hold on this, and those crucial rails are making all the difference.
vengeurr right now just really has to switch to the defensive. He needs to get his stack back up, get the weapons he needs, and then find the opportunity. But it looks like opportunity will find him first, and av3k's name is written all over that. There we go, 3-1, a 2-frag lead for the Polish player with 2 minutes left on the clock. vengeurr has got to start making something happen pretty quickly.
Doesn't want to give up a rail angle. Will gladly take one just to take it. Does he teleport? No, he doesn't. I think if he had the knowledge that we had with the X-ray and stuff, then potentially maybe he would have teleported to that. But vengeurr, he's this far, he's behind already. I think he sees it too big of a risk. However, these rails, they're starting to add up, and av3k is actually railable with the current stack he's working on. He has to be very careful. That light has just spawned, but it's not really enough to survive a fight. vengeurr goes full speed ahead. av3k has to try so hard to get out the missed rail. Watch out! Looks like another miss came through, but this one didn't.
Yep, excellent shot from vengeurr. av3k just trying to dance around and dodge the shot, but nope. Ain't happening this time, and here we go, a minute left on the clock. vengeurr has got all the control, all the weapons, but av3k does manage to get the Ghost Walk back. He has that ability at the ready, he's got that get out of jail free card, and he's just looking for any resources he can get his hand on right now just to survive a little bit longer. All the pressure is on Veng.
This is a runaway game and a half. av3k now with less than 1 minute on the clock, 50 seconds. He just needs to try and evade vengeurr for that entire duration, which means giving up no rail angles, but he's looking for the angle himself. That means if a fight does inevitably break out, he's given himself more of a fighting chance. Now this is an awkward choice. What does vengeurr choose to do here? There are so many ways now av3k can choose to go that he's got to make a bold decision, and he has to make it right now. He is up top, gets the right call. av3k was in fact hiding up there, but he already has his escape plan ready to go. Jumps down, vengeurr using his ears and just listening out for it. But now the game of teleport.
Can he read his opponent? He's gonna hear him go through the bounce pad, actually get some of that extra momentum. Can the LG push him back far enough? The rocket does it! Oh! 8 seconds left on the clock, and he finds the flick.
If that rail missed, this map would be over already. He absolutely had to hit its mark, and it did. Avek has a lot of health, but that's kind of it at this point. No armor, and stuck in a terrible place. vengeurr, that was just daylight robbery right there.
I feel like that one just slipped between Avek's fingers. It felt like he had it up until the last possible moment. But then just Vang with a beautiful play and then that rocket into rail. That's one for the highlight reel for sure.
It's just how much was weighing on it, isn't it? It's the matter of if I miss this shot, because I guarantee vengeurr was not even thinking about it.
Yeah,
you know, it's just he's just doing his thing because that's what the kid does. But at the same time, the fact that the entire map rested on the shoulders of that one rail and he hit it in such just beautiful fashion, impressive stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. And considering Avek was basically the one that was in charge for kind of 90% of that map, the fact that vengeurr he kept his head in it the entire way through. And that's very, very commendable to think about.
Yeah.
You just don't give up in these situations. As long as there is an avenue for you to come back, vengeurr gives it 150% focus.
Yeah. And again, I want to stress the use of the rocket jumps, so tactical, and he used the same rocket jump just time and time again to set up over at Mega, do a bit of damage, and then still be able to get over to Heavy on time, because that's something that very few other champions can do. They have to go all the way around, go through the teleporter, and then get on top of that shotgun area. But when you're the Ranger, wow, that was such a nice shot. But when you're Ranger, you can just rocket jump yourself all the way up, and it won't hurt you much.
This was the moment.
Yeah, we're going to see it in full.
Rocket jump for the boost. Avek tries so hard to grab the Heavy to give himself a fighting chance, but yeah, had that rail have missed, Avek would have been in rail room and he would have been long out of there. And then the sudden death, that was just a bit of an unfavorable spawn and Avek kind of forcing himself between a rock and a hard place. There was nowhere to run down there.
Absolutely not. Also, how did he hit that rail? Avek's dodge was just obscene. He was moving so fast from left to right, and just somehow vengeurr just finds a shot right through the middle, threading the needle and taking out his opponent to tie things up. That was a beautiful and extremely explosive start on a map, Molten Falls, that isn't often played this aggressively or fast.
Avek was forcing it to be that way.
Yeah.
He was forcing, it was the Avek aggression that existed throughout pretty much the entirety, and vengeurr was kind of trying to retreat back. Avek's already all over it, and kind of just laying that pressure on thick in a way that we don't normally see with vengeurr. Normally it's very, very prepared and expecting, knowing who he's up against and playing the matchup accordingly. And that, even though vengeurr won that first map, I don't think I was expecting it to go the way that it did. It was purely just the moment of clutch that allowed vengeurr to win that map. That was Avek's for most of it.
I just hope that this doesn't tilt Avek. I just hope it doesn't throw him off, because he showed how much potential he had. He came so close to taking that one all the way over into his camp. But right now, he's just got to reset. He's got to focus on the next map, take them one by one, take them as they come, and not let this get to him, because that was such a close and probably devastating loss on his hand. But he is a pro player. He's very well versed in just getting himself into the right emotional state to take these fights the way he has to. So I really hope that we won't let it affect him in second map.
Avek has experience in drones, so it's unlikely that he's going to be sort of tilted or affected as we go into this next map. This is a fresh start. Just because one map goes down, we still play all three. The opportunity for a 2-1 remains.
We're on Avek's perspective for the opening of the map. He's playing the Doomslayer and he's going up against Sorlek. Sorlek, of course, has the extra stack and has got the ability to do damage while just flying around the map. But on the other hand, Avek has got the double jump. He's got a lot of vertical mobility, a lot of easy shortcuts that he can take to position himself very strategically in the center map. And that's immediately what we can see him focus on right here.
He's got every ounce of weaponry he needs. Got that Unholy Trinity on deck, but ouch! Immediately walks into a rocket as he's looking for a rail angle himself, and that's a lot of damage peppered down.
And that's actually a really regrettable rocket, because I feel like vengeurr was kind of out of positioning right there, and he could have easily gone down or lose the Heavy, but what? vengeurr turns it around somehow. But still, that one rocket, vengeurr could have easily lost out on heavy. As he will lose out on Mega right now. av3k, he should be able to get both of the majors here. There we go. vengeurr has very little to work with, does manage to pick himself up. The rockets, the LG.
That was just, that all started off the perfect decision. av3k understanding that he damaged vengeurr enough that he can spawn. If he spawns near LG, perfect. Let's go full speed ahead and finish the job, which is what he was able to do. And, you know, we haven't really touched on this, but this is still vengeurr on Awoken.
Yeah.
This is a map, this is widely considered to be his strongest map choice. So if av3k's able to get the win here, you know, we're talking about the boost of confidence and giving av3k the morale that he needs going into the future set of maps. The fact that he needs these points so much, being lower on the leaderboards. Taking a map off vengeurr is a great start, but he has to be very careful. 3 HP left in the tank. There should be a pickup, and yeah, vengeurr easily collects that one.
That's the risk when you're sticking around that long, because on the one hand, you don't just want to give it up for free. You want to be able to do some damage and at least whittle that stack down a little bit so that your opponent doesn't just have a full Mega and heavy moving into the next engagement. But of course, when you stick around too long, things can turn south so quickly. av3k! Like, I've said it before, Sorlag, I mean, she's got some heft to her, the girl. She's a little bit thick. So obviously the shotgun, that's gonna find a lot of those pellets connecting. Instant aggression from vengeurr.
That pillar saved av3k, but is it putting him on borrowed time? That's the question. vengeurr, by all accounts, should disengage here, but it looks like he's actually trying to head him off towards Mega instead. But no, actually, he had no idea where av3k was.
Yeah, vengeurr completely looking in the wrong direction, and off the spawn, taking one rail, will evade the second one, and that is just the experience speaking. You could tell that vengeurr knew to the millisecond how long it would take for that railgun to be ready again, and that's why you just stood in the room, dancing around a little bit, and just doing a little damage with the heavy machine gun, but it won't matter in the end. av3k kind of gets him trapped in that little corner, and the LG damage is ruthless.
5-2 may seem like a lot, but this is still Awoken. Very, very closed-in map, where potential for comebacks are always there. And, you know, vengeurr's going to be thinking about that. He knows all I need to do is just get one good frag with one good bit of circumstance that comes afterwards. Maybe it's going to be a Mega or a heavy. The snowball effect can begin, especially with
Okay.
I feel like that frag should have happened a shot ago. It's just the spread was not in av3k's favor. That frag was always going to go in his favor there, though. As now he's looking to head it off. Minimal damage on the rockets. They're going to swap to the machine gun to try and answer back with a bit more range, but it looks like av3k has been able to squirm his way out once again. 5-1. This is a solid lead, and it looks like av3k, he's not content playing hyper defensive. He's trying to maintain this, but put the pressure on with the advantage he has.
vengeurr really has to be careful taking fights from like the top of heavy, because he kind of seems like he's underestimating the double jump. Oh, are we gonna get another frag from av3k?
Second guessed the SSG for a split second there, but it looks like vengeurr was so focused on staying alive that he didn't really poke his way out.
vengeurr has to be careful, because av3k with the double jump can get so much extra LG damage off when you feel like you're safe on top of the ledge. And he's gotta watch that, because that can go wrong so quickly. We've seen av3k get like 2 frags that way. And here we go. Is vengeurr turning it right back around? Nope! The rail will shut that down quickly. And av3k still maintaining a 5-point lead.
It's that double-edged sword of selecting Sorlag on a map like this, that she's so aggressive and the acid spit can work so well in these situations. The danger is, as you said, she's one of the largest champions in the game to hit, so she has a lot more of a hitbox available for you to just hit in general with rails. Now, av3k, there was absolute confidence in that last fight. He wasn't even thinking about changing weapons, because why would I? I'm confident I can hit these rails. It's Sorlag. Why would I miss? On the flip side, she's got the stack and the damage, so have to roll with the punches in that effect. 5-minute warning, and 9 frags have already come through. vengeurr does take the rail damage to guarantee himself the heavy. He's looking for another rail, I think, as he's trying to bait it out. Yeah, waits for it. Perfect.
Very nicely done as well, just showing his face for a moment and then right back into cover until vengeurr took the shot, missed, and gave him the easy opportunity to collect the Mega for free, completely unharmed, completely unchallenged. And Havok right now seems content, just going for the Mega, doesn't really want to expose himself out over at Heavy, and just stays on his side of the map, getting that basic stack, getting the weapons that he needs. He needs a little bit more ammo for the rail, but look at that, vengeurr, was he not expecting his opponent there? Maybe he just wanted to get positioning on the Mega first, but he is paying dearly for that decision.
But knowing vengeurr at the same time, there's always a possibility that he was just confident in his stack and thought, damn, 5 frags down. Let's just go full speed ahead, see if we can get the fight. Maybe we can take the Mega on the way and strong arm our way back into this map.
Absolutely.
Now he's worked his way around, denying the Heavy's going to be an objective. The rocket jump for vengeurr. The damage of the rocket jump seen as more valuable than the damage of sticking around. He's so crazy weak at this stage. The Mega gets taken, yeah, sure, but he's got to cycle around and get the armor. He gets it. av3k no doubt heard that, so he's got a lot of information here. But with this frag advantage, he can play this slow defensive game. He's going to sit around the middle of the map. He's going to listen out for it.
And that's exactly the right decision to make as well, because we're about to hit the 7-minute mark of this game. That leaves just 3 minutes for vengeurr to get 5 frags just to tie things up, and that's an extremely tall order against a player like av3k, who's just dominating right now on that Doomslayer. And look at that, he's just not slowing down. He could have just ran away and completely left the situation the way it was, but that's not what he's gonna do. He says, I can hear you scream, and I'm liking it as he takes down Sorlag one more time. Here we go, av3k looking absolutely solid this time around.
Although a comeback is possible with how rock solid av3k has been playing, we're not so sure. vengeurr, he's going to press this one. The rocket doesn't quite hit its mark. The double jump to go through that unique angle to dodge the rockets. I like it. And the shots, they continue to hit their mark. The rocket almost didn't.
This man is mad. Did you notice he was at 28 points of health for pretty much all of that? And he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna take a gander, follow you around, see if I can land a rail. Just position myself here, even though I should be running for my life. av3k just showing that controlled aggression this time, looking for more and more damage, never satisfied, always hungry, and it's paying off in dividends.
Choose to go in. The rockets. vengeurr finally lands the shot, but that just as easily could have been one more rocket into guaranteed death. vengeurr, it needs to be all top speed here. 5 frags required to even make things even. And now the aggression begins. Misses the opening rail, though that's bad news. It's just going to make this fight take longer, and the fight doesn't even go in his favor.
The missed rail, if he landed that shot, he might still have had an opportunity. But unfortunately, the double jump seemed to have thrown him off a little bit. But here we go, off the bat, off the respawn, just getting rockets. And there we go, an extra bit of rocket boost. Getting the momentum, trying to cut off his opponent. 5 frags, 1 minute.
It's just taking so long for these fights to break out. You wonder if we have already reached that dangerous point that you hate to talk about, but is an inevitability. Oh, vengeurr looking for the crazy rocket. 4 frags.
I mean, av3k is kind of giving it to him at this point, right? He really should. There's no reason for him to still peek. av3k, I mean...
Be careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, buddy. You're in a really good position to take this one, but if you overexpose it...
Okay, that was a bit of a bonus frag right there, which should, by all accounts, give av3k the situation now to win for free. Great rockets. Great rockets. Oh my god.
That is not a distance at which you should be hitting rockets like that, but av3k says, watch and learn. I know how it's done.
A important win for av3k, by all accounts. You know, this is going to be the map win. It's going to be a 1-1. Not only is scoring this map against vengeurr just great for his own state of mind, you know, knowing how much points he has to get because he's so far behind. But the fact that you just took a Woken off vengeurr. Yeah. Now, this wasn't just any map that you were able to get the win. It's on his most successful and dangerous map. But it's putting us into a bit of a wild card up next. You know, we're going into Veil of Nath as the final pick. It's going to be clutch for vengeurr, and it's going to be Keel for av3k.
I mean, this one is impossible to call. I'm not even gonna try. This could really go either way. It's just both of these champions, they're so explosive. This is a good map, Mainly for Kiel, I would say. It's an interesting, I'm gonna say interesting decision to pick the clutch on, but I could very well see it work. And if the clutch, if vengeurr can get that early lead and just build some momentum, it's going to be extremely difficult for av3k to stand the tides and turn it back.
Just looking at so many of these replays, it was av3k, just vengeurr constantly just falling victim to these odd little traps.
Yeah.
These situations where vengeurr, he's known for being ready for almost every angle. vengeurr famous for just creating these angles on the fly, seemingly, but it looked like how this map transpired that av3k was one step ahead of him.
Yeah.
How many opportunities was vengeurr just completely caught off guard or surprised almost? You very rarely see that happen to him on this map.
And in that situation at Heavy, once again, you gotta respect the double jump. vengeurr is just up there raining down rockets, and against any other champion, you might take like 20 damage per LG whenever you peek, right? But when you're up against Doomslayer, he just double jumps and he can do 60. And before you know it, where's your stack? And look at that, that was the beautiful play with just a sliver of health left, and av3k just not going anywhere, standing his ground. Excellent rail from vengeurr, that one. Happy we get to see that one from his perspective, because he was hitting some really nice rails at the end.
He was. It's just, he conceded so many frags. There was just a simple matter of too much work to do and not enough time to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying watching these frags, to be completely honest. So many of them were just nice and clean.
I want to see the rockets again.
Oh, well, the ones at the end.
Here we go, here we go.
This was the point, and just the direct, it is perfect angle of understanding. And again, we definitely saw the drawbacks of Sorlag there, you know, because it's definitely the positives in a lot of ways will outweigh those negatives.
Right.
But the one negative of her just being so giant that these shots just connect over and over and over again. av3k took full advantage of that. Like, he was ready for every fight, and he was, you know, well aware of what to aim for. It was good stuff.
Excellent use of the super shotgun. More so than any other weapon, really effective against the bigger champions like Sorlag, and he was just stacking on the damage over and over again. But as we saw at the end, the same goes for the rockets and the LG as well. So beautiful plays from av3k.
It almost gives me shades of Base. You know, where Base is another player that we're familiar with that's not afraid to use the super shotgun that's very champion specific. And I guess that's what's happening at this level of play. You know, it's different tools for the job. But this is where the curiosity is ticking.
Yep.
You know, it's clutch versus Kiel. The map makes sense for sure, but woo, immediately answer back. But av3k picking this Kiel, these grenades, they are devastating on Vale.
That's an important map too. av3k really needs and wants those points. There we go. That's a decent amount of damage. vengeurr will pop the barrier. No grenades used at all. A little bit curious. I feel like if he had landed one single grenade, that would have been the frag for av3k guaranteed, but he just wasn't even going for that extra damage. Maybe a bit too confident, maybe thinking he would still be able to make it out of there on time, but he will go down for the first time on this map.
Looking for the rail angle, but I love vengeurr. The little jump back into the immediate dash, like, we are a giant champion. There's no way around that, but if we can just deny angles using the speed of the dash, then that's going to be our best case scenario. vengeurr now. We'd already discussed how it's a blessing and a curse clutch on this map. The ability to maneuver around wherever you want in a quick space of time, and the shield wall to bully your way into things and secure frags. But it's not going to be easy to navigate on a map like this. You know, there's so much closed-in space that your dash will just get stuck on. Here we go. Potentially a fight. The shield is going to get popped, and av3k's going to get deleted. 2-0 for vengeurr, and some health bubbles to restack. Full speed ahead with the grenades, and he finally pulls the trigger and scores some frags for it. 1-2 now.
Yep. Good decision from av3k to go aggressively right there, because he knows just after respawn his opponent has used the shield wall, doesn't have that ability in his arsenal anymore, at least not for a decent amount of seconds. So if you can just get to him close and quick, obviously you'll be able to do a lot of damage, and with the grenades to his name as well. Here we go, we're gonna see another shield come out. vengeurr actually still trying to chase after taking a decent amount of damage, but of course he did pick up heavy. Look at the stack just evaporating before our very eyes, but he still sticks with it at 20 points of health. I feel like that was so close to being av3k's.
A clutch with that much stack is truly terrifying. It's all about just crazy movement and just piling his way into you. And you know, av3k did so much damage in that fight at the same time. And actually now looking at the stack, he's extremely healthy. You know, if he manages to get a fight in the same situation, depends on how much grenades he's got left, and that rocket shut down a great deal. None of these grenades are going to connect direct either. Unfortunately, vengeurr hitting some beautiful LG to finish the job, making it 4-1 so far.
One of the most important things that av3k absolutely has to do, except for hit rails like that, of course, but one of the things he has to consistently keep doing in this matchup is use the grenades. You do not want to leave the hourglasses for clutch, because he is so powerful with that shield. You want to keep shooting up those grenades. Like, look at this right now. av3k has 5 grenades up. There's a lot of hourglasses behind him, but there's no way for him to deny it when he can't even pick them up.
Oh, the combo though. The rocket and the grenade combined. That certainly doesn't tickle. vengeurr tries to drop down, punished with a reactionary rail. av3k has just clawed his way back into this match. If he goes to the teleporter, he does. That's so brave of vengeurr. I understand that he doesn't want him to simply take the mega for free. Perfect rocket jump, but he has to watch out. His health is so low. He took the heavy, sure, but hang on a minute. vengeurr is now quite weak. That wasn't such a bad idea, perhaps.
Yeah, he dropped with just 17 points of health, but landing that opening direct, that's gonna hurt av3k a lot, and out comes the shield, but there we go, the grenade! You couldn't even see av3k anymore, but just the grenades, they curve so nicely. A very beautiful finish to that fight. 15 points of health though, av3k, you gotta be careful. Heavy is up, but there's no way for him to take it. He's gonna leave it to the robot.
This Keel pick, smart against Clutch on a map like this, where the grenades have such a higher chance of landing, and even though Clutch has the stack and he's got the movement and he's got the shield wall, you have access to so much damage thanks to the grenades that av3k is able to more than even the odds in pretty much every single one of these fights. The grenades are the biggest factor. This could by all accounts be a guaranteed frag though. vengeurr has way more of a stack than av3k. The shield wall was popped to guarantee it. How does av3k recover here? Looks like vengeurr should be able to get fully stacked, and he will be indeed. The heavy gets taken as well.
av3k taking his sweet time on that side of the map, though. He completely just gave full control to vengeurr, who was not all that stacked after killing him. Getting bounced around a fair bit, the grenades won't connect anymore, and that will be vengeurr extending his lead. This is also a pretty damn explosive matchup on Veil.
I think you just look at these two champions and you can't be surprised by it. It's almost like we had an idea. vengeurr caught swapping weapons and not dishing a lot of damage out there. av3k punishing him accordingly. Heavy, it's taken for free. Has to watch out though, because the health is not very high. That rail would have been important just to shut down some of the stack, stopping vengeurr from being as crazy aggressive as he's definitely being. He is absolutely smelling blood here. Shield wall gets popped. av3k tries to back up, does manage to survive a little bit, but both players at death's door, looking for a rail shot. Oh, he misses the shot and gets rocketed for his troubles.
Yeah.
That would have been a game changer, Flea. That
Absolutely.
really would have been.
I mean, 2 bullets of the machine gun would have been a game changer. Oh no, av3k dropping down onto that LG. That's gonna hurt a lot. There's still 4 minutes left. He doesn't have to rush it just yet, because it's only 3 frags, and that's absolutely possible on this map against the Clutch. Here we go. This should be another one for the Polish player. 9-7, just a 2 frag deficit, and he's gonna find him again.
He has been able to pick up the Mega, but it doesn't matter. There's no armor to play for, and if you're Clutch, there's no way you're missing that LG. That's going to drain. And now fresh off the spawn, vengeurr, he's got nothing, absolutely nothing, but the shield wall keeps him alive long enough for the starting machine gun to do the job. You understand why av3k went in there, but vengeurr dedicated to the fight. He knows he had no other choice here. av3k gets him off the spawn. That av3k aggression coming out again, but the rail!
Wow!
vengeurr to turn around. He needed to hit that.
Yeah, that was just a flyby shot to save the world, and down goes av3k. He really can't afford to give up too many more frags at this point. There's 3 minutes left. The frags, they need to start coming in, but vengeurr right now knows that he's got the stack advantage, and he's not gonna let that go to waste. Aggressive push will work out nicely in his favor.
7 minutes have gone by, and oh my, what an explosive map this has been. You're bang on the money, Flea. You just look at the matchups. It's 2 champions that will just... Clutch is going to move fast, and he's going to tank a ton of damage, yeah, but Keel av3k has just been going toe-to-toe every time. The fights near the end, though, they're just starting to slip away from him a little bit. And again, gets red here, shield wall, vengeurr not looking to hyper-dedicate. He knows there's a lack of armor, and a lack of armor with Clutch is not good news.
This could be one of the very first matchups in the Quake Pro League where both players got more than 10 frags. I think that is a truly exceptional thing that you almost never see. So very often you'll see one player go above it, sometimes even significantly so, but both of them to go above the 10 frag limit, or limit rather, just the threshold, that would be truly interesting.
I mean, these guys came out swinging. It was combat from start to finish, and it looks like it's going to continue. The entry damage of the rockets, and it's something we haven't really touched on, but vengeurr's rockets have been absolute game changers. The second a fight breaks out, we're looking at av3k stack, and it's like, well, I think he's quite healthy. I think he's ready to take this fight. Boom, 100 damage. And before av3k has even fired his first shot, that 100 damage is dished out. So 100, you just remove that from the stack before the fight begins.
av3k not really applying all that much pressure, and the time is running out for him. He's got to start putting in the chases, starting to trap his opponent and really make some frags happen.
vengeurr is not interested in being aggressive anymore. He's waiting until he can see av3k, and he's just simply running away. More damage. It's just such crazy damage output that makes it increasingly difficult for av3k to make something happen. That is a good rail. Needs more. And the grenade! The timer. Rarely see the timer get the job done. Remember, the grenades are on a proximity. They will detonate on impact, and if they don't detonate on impact, they'll just stay on the floor and they have a time limit. The gift that keeps on giving, but this comeback is possible. He's got the stack to make it happen. He just needs to put a lid on it, and that's what's going to become difficult against the Clutch movement.
Yeah, Clutch is so much faster than Keel. He's got that dash, can get around the map so easily, but looks like he doesn't even want to. He's just gonna hold that position, and that's so demoralizing for av3k. For a second, it was always like, well, what do I do now? I know that this is so much time burned because I can't go up the bounce pad. And look at that stack advantage from vengeurr, but av3k knows he's gotta stick around. And I feel like that might be the GG.
Perfect use of the shield wall. av3k going in with the rail because it was his strongest weapon at the time, but dealing just over 50 damage against a Clutch with that much stack. Who cares? Alright, he's point blank, but this fight, it just takes too long. And even before this fight, I think we were definitely at that point of no return. The second the shield wall frag came forward, but you said we might have seen a map with both players getting 10 frags. av3k was nearly there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nearly there.
Almost managed to pull it through, but unfortunately for av3k, it will be vengeurr taking this one home. And I really do think that one of the aspects in this win is av3k just really didn't go after the hourglasses enough. I feel like he very often didn't just use his pineapples, his grenades at all in those engagements. And then you just saw, right, when they switched to vengeurr's point of view, he was just like, oh, well, look at this. Look at all these free hourglasses, meaning that I use my shield wall and 15 seconds later I've got my next one up. And that's just such a crucial ability for Clutch. He really can't function at the highest level without it. So I feel like av3k probably could have done a bit more to just shoot those pineapples and deny the hourglasses.
It's at the same time every time, especially in the later stages. We're going to watch these kill feeds. There's going to be a lot of shield wall activated for those same reasons that you mentioned. But at the same time, we just don't get to see the grenades do as much as they could have because of that.
Yeah.
Whenever vengeurr was caught without shield wall and he went in ahead and the grenades hit their mark, like his health just deleted in an instant. It's the benefit of Keel on a map like this, where if you combine his LG and his rockets with the peppered damage of grenades at the same time, like right there, that was a perfect combo.
Yeah.
That damage was absolutely insane, and it catches him on the way down. It's what the pineapples can do for you in those situations, but that was a hard-fought map, and it was not easy for vengeurr to take that series win. av3k can probably leave today. He's going to be disappointed that he didn't take it all the way. A victory versus vengeurr probably feels a damn sight better than a defeat against him. But at the same time, vengeurr is one of the absolute greatest players in the business, especially in the Quake Pro League. Like I said, he was a lot of people's favourite to potentially win the Stage 1 finals, not just because he's Italian and that was the hometown turf and the story's great, but because of just his natural talent that he displayed over the entire course of Stage 1. And here comes av3k, who, by all accounts, I think brought him to the brink today.
Yeah. It was a close game in the end. av3k did take home one map, but it was vengeurr in the end who ended up pulling through. But really, it could have gone both ways. And av3k, as you said, he really shouldn't feel all too bad about this one because it was close. And he really once again showed that he is capable of stepping up when he needs to, landing so many nice shots, putting off so many great and aggressive plays just the way we know and love him. But yeah, unfortunately for av3k, it was vengeurr in the end to take home the 2-1 victory.
And in vengeurr's position, it's just another day in the office, securing a 2-1 victory. You know, av3k is a talented player. vengeurr's going to feel good about a win, as he always does, especially seeing as he fell to his teammate Razy last week.
Yeah.
So always getting a victory to recover is a great way. By the way, folks, make sure if you're enjoying tonight's action, you're sharing the stream out, make sure you follow the Quake Champions Twitter account, use the hashtag Quake Pro League, let us know what matches are coming up today that you're particularly looking forward to, and let us know who your favourite player is in the Pro League so far. We'd love to hear your feedback. And it's always open for all the information on the upcoming streams, the shows that are coming up, and all the Challenger League information, which is a very important one. It's all a one-stop shop over at the Quake Champions Twitter page. So I believe we're going into our next set of matches, officially hitting the halfway point here on the very festive celebration for the Quake Pro League in Stage 2. We're going to go for a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes' time.